Good morning. Welcome to Bible study. I shared with you last week that we had begun a season in the church year called Advent. Advent is a time of waiting and getting ready for Christmas, the day we remember and celebrate when Jesus was born in Bethlehem. We spend 4 weeks before Christmas getting ready to hear the story and celebrate Jesus's birth. One of the ways that we get ready is by reading stories in the Bible that help us remember the people who waited for Jesus, people who came before Jesus, people who helped Jesus come into the world. Last week, we read from the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is a book in the Old Testament, the first part of the Bible. All of the things written in the Old Testament happened before Jesus was born. Isaiah lived a long time before Jesus was born, but he wrote and shared a message with God's people, hoping for and waiting for Jesus, the Messiah, to be born. This week, we're going to move into the New Testament and read stories that happened just before Jesus was born. I'd like you to get your Bible if you have one, and so we can practice finding some of these books in the Bible. Today let's first find the New Testament, because we'll be moving into the New Testament. If you have a Bible from the church, you'll remember that there is a dark line you can see on the side of your Bible. And this divides the Old Testament and New Testament. There are some shiny pages. And here is a page that talks about the Christian year, the church year. And we can find right here is where we are, is Advent, getting ready for Jesus to come on Christmas. If you don't have a Bible from the church, you can use your table of contents, or you can look. It's not quite in the middle. It's a little bit further back, but see if you can find the New Testament. The New Testament begins with 4 books called the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The word Gospels mean good news, because the Gospels, these 4 books, tell the good news of Jesus. And so our Bible story today and for the next 2 weeks is going to be in the book of Luke. Do you remember the 4 Gospels? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So let's see if we can find the book of Luke. You can either go to the front and find your table of contents to find the page number, or if you're already here in the New Testament, you can flip through. I see I'm in Matthew, there's Mark, and here is Luke. Let me turn it back to the beginning because we are in Luke chapter 1. Can you find Luke chapter 1? Remember, the chapter numbers are the big numbers. So Luke chapter 1 is where our story will be found today. Before we read the story, though, let's look at pictures and remember last week's story and get ready to read this week's story. Long before Jesus was born, God spoke to the people of Israel through the prophet Isaiah. Someday, a wise and strong leader would be born from the family of David. He would bring peace to the whole earth. Our story begins in the temple with a priest named Zechariah. Today's Bible story is Zechariah and Elizabeth's answered prayer, from Luke chapter 1. Zechariah and Elizabeth loved God and followed God's ways. They were very old and had no children. One day, Zechariah the priest was working at the temple. An angel of God appeared. Zechariah was very scared. The angel said, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. God has heard your prayer. Elizabeth will have a baby boy. You will name him John. John will show people the way of God." Zechariah said, "How can this be? I am old. My wife is old. How can we have a baby?" The angel said, "I have come from God to bring you good news, but you did not believe my words. Now you will not be able to speak until the baby comes." When Zechariah came out of the temple, he could not talk. He went home. Elizabeth became pregnant and had a baby boy. She was so happy. When the baby was 8 days old, the neighbors and family came to name him. "His name will be Zechariah, like his father," they said. But Elizabeth said, "No, his name will be John." The neighbors and family were surprised. "Why would you call him John? No one in your family has that name." They called Zechariah. "What name do you want to give the baby?" they asked him. Zechariah wrote on a tablet, "His name is John." Suddenly, Zechariah could talk again. He praised God, saying, "Blessed are you, God. You are good and loving to us. Your light will shine on us, giving light to everyone who is sad and afraid. And you, my baby John, will be a prophet and lead us in God's ways. God will guide our feet into the way of peace." The child John grew and became strong. John loved God. I wonder what it was like when the angel appeared. I wonder how Zechariah felt about not being able to speak for 9 months. I wonder how he communicated with his friends and family. Imagine if you couldn't speak with words. How would you communicate? As you continue to wonder about this story, I want you to listen to another song from the Waiting Songs album, From Rain for Roots. This song is called Zechariah, and it's all about today's Bible story. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you again next week.
Zechariah went into the temple, and an angel of the Lord was waiting there. He said, "You've waited your whole life. Good news, you and your wife will have a son named John. The Lord has heard your prayer." Zechariah was afraid and started talking. He said, "How can this be? How will I know?" Gabriel said, "God gave this special task to me and sent to ask. Here's a sign for you until he's born to show." Zechariah said, Then he couldn't say but his heart went, 'cause he couldn't speak. Then he tried to say, but he couldn't say, but his heart went. Zechariah walked out of the temple, and they knew something had happened there inside. He tried to tell the story, but it wouldn't come out right. Stayed inside his heart, but couldn't be denied. his heart went.
Yes, he did.